This is exclusive from Leaving the Ring.
Yuri Foreman is scheduled to face Miguel Cotto June 6th at the Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York. 28-0 with 8 KOs. Okay, Yuri Foreman, I believe we got you on the line, brother.
I'm here. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you very much for coming on, Leaving in the Ring, and talk to us a little bit about your upcoming fight with the Puerto Rican star Miguel Cotto. Now, let me ask you this, Yuri. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you have to be aware you're not getting the prime Miguel Cotto. You're really getting a Miguel Cotto that Top Rank's trying to find out how much is left of him stepping in with you, right?
Perhaps, for me I'm not looking at this right that way. I'm getting ready for best Miguel Cotto, and that's what I expect from him. So I'm coming prepared. I'm gonna do my homework and just see what's out there.
Let me ask you this: what are some of the concerns that you are looking at with Miguel Cotto? I mean, Miguel has stressed in the past that he's had problems staying at 147. He's big frame, big back, big shoulders. Are you expecting a refreshed Miguel Cotto coming in there with you?
I don't know. I don't know. I expect him being in top of his condition in his form and abilities. That's what I'm gonna get ready for. In terms of his frame, he's a big guy. I had a chance to meet him a couple months ago in Madison Square Garden, and he's a nice fellow, and he's not a small guy neither. So
no, he's not a small guy. No, I agree with you. He's not a small guy, and that's why I'm wondering that maybe if that 147 division was maybe dehydrating him a little bit too much, not allowing him. Like back when Tito Trinidad was fighting, him being knocked down early in the rounds at 147, obviously showed that when he moved up in weight, it made him a little stronger. Now, Yuri, let me ask you this, because you gotta say, you fought pretty tough guys out there. It's not like you're just all of a sudden walking into this ring unknown. You've been in there with the K9 Bungarage, which you had a accidental headbutt. It was stopped back in '09. You've also you've decisioned over Jesus Soto Carras, who had similarities to Antonio Margarito. So you've been in this with some world-class fighters. Now, being that it's going to be in the Bronx, New York, and it's pretty much going to be Puerto Rico that day in the Yankee Stadium, how much pressure is that for you?
You know what, I don't know how much. I don't know yet. I'm getting prepared. I'm going to prepare mentally for it, and of course physically for the fight. But of course I'm going to be aware, not something I'm going to walk into Bronx Yankee Stadium and suddenly be surprised. There's a chance people are going to boo. So I'm going to be definitely ready for this. But it's also being a professional. You're coming.
Right.
You're coming to the stage, you're coming to the ring, and you have to perform. It's people could boo and everything as long as they're not coming to the ring, they're staying away and watching. It's all good by me, and so it's fine. There has been many examples of great champions going to somebody's backyard and or being in them backyard and booed, and they performing well and winning, So there's a lot of examples to look at. So. It's normal.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah. It's obviously
part of the sport.
Yeah, it's part of the business. You would have to say. You're gonna win fans, and then you're not gonna gain some fans, unfortunately, because you're gonna be stepping in what a lot of people consider one of the best Puerto Rican fighters to date right now. Let me ask you. At 154, how is that weight comfortable with you? I mean, are you making that weight comfortable, or could this possibly be your last at 154?
No, I work a lot. I'm staying in the gym. I don't have no weight problems. You know, I walk around not more than 164, 65. So I feel comfortable, and I'm making the 154. It's not a problem. You know, I feel good at it, and I feel strong, and that's my weight. I don't feel like that's it. I can't wait. I have to move to 160 or something. So I feel still comfortable.
No, you know, Yuri, your KO ratio is not that high. It's 8 KOs, and so a lot of fighters may overlook that. And seeing that what happened with Daniel Santos, you do possess power in those hands. Now, saying that already, being that this is going to be a big stage for you, being at the Yankee Stadium facing Miguel Cotto, do you feel a little pressure that you're going to have to bring your best game in order to continue to get into the mainstream to the fight fans?
I mean, definitely. You know, I'm not sure. I'll definitely agree with you that I have to bring my A game. But in terms of feeling pressure, if I'm going to have this A game for this night, June 5th,
right.
I'm always come to fights with in good condition and in shape, and I'm just gonna try to execute my game plan, whatever my coach Joe Greer gonna come with it, and just go according to the screenplay.
Interesting fight. I gotta say, Chris, what do you think? I mean, this is an interesting fight. Miguel Cotto moving up to 154 and not taking a walk in the park champion here. This Yuri Foreman is obviously a dangerous opponent in styles and in size.
Yes, it is. And actually, Yuri, I'm kind of curious. This is probably going to be by far not only the biggest fight of your career, but the most publicized, the highest notoriety. Do you look at this fight as almost a coming out party for, all the hardcore boxing fans? I'm sure know Yuri Foreman by now. But, in the mainstream, your name's not as big as a Miguel Cotto, for example. Do you see this fight as an opportunity to really get yourself out there?
Of course. I don't look as just one, something happened that fall upon me. I felt like I've been working hard for this fight, and it's also a historic event. It's a first, it's a new Yankee Stadium, and it's in first fight, and which is I'm going to be one of the main event, and it's also new millennium, so it's a historical fight, and it's a great opportunity, of course, for me to showcase my skills and to show the world what I can do, and there's going to be a lot of people watching, so I'll God willing, I'm going to perform well.
Now, the fact is that this fight is supposed to take place in the new Yankee Stadium. Back in the day, when boxing was really, really popular, it would take place in big stadiums like that, but it hasn't been so in a while until the upcoming Manny Pacquiao-Clottey fight and your fight, of course, now. Is that something that you ever pictured? Did you ever picture yourself fighting in a big stadium like that? And do you think you'll be at all any more nervous coming to the fight?
Before, I was just reading books about it, fighting in the big stadiums, like Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, and actually interesting to note, the first fight ever held in old Yankee Stadium was the Benny Leonard, was a Jewish fighter, So I'm starting the tradition in the new Yankee Stadium, So I think it's good. Of course, I'm not trying to fill Benny Leonard's shoes, but definitely, definitely good. And of course, I never would dream about the fight actually in the Yankee Stadium. Before there were talks about fighting in Madison Square Garden, I was like, wow, I was just like working 10 years ago when I came here, and I was working as like delivery boy in Garment District, trying to make a living, and now like. Years later, I'm going to be headlining in Madison Square Garden, but then it's got Yankee Stadium. I was like, wow.
Right.
Not my expectation.
Right. Now, boxing is a very diverse sport. That's one of the things I think that makes it so popular worldwide, is there's so many different cultures represented. You live in a city where it's probably one of the most diverse cities in the world, New York. Is that something, being as you're fighting your second Puerto Rican fighter in a row, where it's something that the fight you feel it's more? I don't want to say it's bad because there are rivalries as far as like Mexico and Puerto Rico and other rivalries. But do you feel like is there more talk of that in New York? You know, when you have a fighter such as yourself fighting a Puerto Rican fighter amongst the fans.
No, I think this talk is not really belongs in New York City. It's like a city of nations. It's first of all in boxing. For boxing, for me personally, I don't really look at the race or where he comes from. Boxing for me, it's opposite in the ring is going to be a boxer, my opponent. So I don't really look as a Puerto Rican. I couldn't care less. For me, it's just sport, and that's also was the reason. Point when I was in Israel, I was training with the Arab kids. And I never look at them as Arabs or my enemies. God